Welcome to the Retirement Wealth Podcast. We're so glad you're joining us today.
Absolutely. It's great to be here.
So, have you ever thought about what might happen to your retirement if the unexpected occurs? Today, we're diving into something really important: how to create a retirement risk management plan.
Yeah, it's crucial. Retirement is often viewed as a time to relax and enjoy life, but there are risks that can pop up and derail those plans if we're not prepared.
Exactly. And we'll be covering some key points today, like identifying potential risks, the importance of diversification, and how insurance can play a role in your retirement strategy.
Plus, we'll talk about how to create a balanced approach that not only protects your assets, but also allows for growth.
Right. It's all about finding that sweet spot between risk and reward, so you can enjoy your retirement without constantly worrying about financial pitfalls.
And we'll also share some practical steps you can take to get started on your own risk management plan.
So whether you're just starting to think about retirement or you're already enjoying those golden years, there's something here for everyone.
Let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it. First up, let's talk about what kinds of risks retirees typically face.
So, Emily, when we talk about why it's crucial to create a solid retirement risk management plan right now, I think we can't ignore the current economic climate, right?
Absolutely, David. With inflation rates being so unpredictable, it really puts pressure on people's retirement savings.
Yeah, and let's not forget about market volatility. Just look at the stock market over the past couple of years. It's been a roller coaster.
Right? It's almost like you need a seatbelt just to watch your investments.
Exactly. And for those nearing retirement, this kind of uncertainty can be particularly nerve-wracking. If you're planning to retire in 5 or 10 years, you really need to factor in how these dips could affect your portfolio.
For sure. I've spoken to retirees who were initially planning on taking a certain amount from their savings each year, but with those market fluctuations, they've had to reassess.
That's a great point. I had a client, let's call him Tom, who thought he could live comfortably off his savings and Social Security. But after seeing a decline in his investments, he realized he might need to wait a couple more years to retire, or at least adjust his withdrawal strategy.
Yeah, I've heard similar stories. People don't often think about how their investments need to last longer than they originally planned. And with healthcare costs rising, that's another layer of complexity, isn't it?
Definitely. Healthcare can be one of the largest expenses in retirement. Just think about it. The average couple might spend hundreds of thousands on healthcare alone over their retirement years.
That's a staggering thought. And when we consider the changes coming to Medicare and Social Security, it's no wonder many people feel overwhelmed.
Right. Social Security in particular is something that's been on everyone's mind. With the potential for changes in benefits, people need to be proactive about their planning.
It's like putting together a puzzle, right? You have to find the right pieces to fit together to see the whole picture.
Exactly. And as we discuss this, I think it's important to highlight that planning for retirement isn't just about the numbers. There's an emotional aspect to financial security as well.
Oh, for sure. Feeling secure in your financial situation can really impact your overall well-being. I've spoken to retirees who said they felt a weight lifted once they had a solid plan in place.
And it's a common theme. When people feel financially secure, they tend to enjoy their retirement more. They can focus on things that truly matter to them, like spending time with family or pursuing hobbies.
Exactly. But with all these uncertainties, I think many people are second-guessing their plans. They might think, am I really ready, or will I have enough?
Yeah, and those questions can lead to anxiety. I had a couple, let's call them Jerry and Linda, who were worried because they didn't know how to adjust their plan amidst changing economic conditions. They felt stuck and overwhelmed.
That's a tough spot to be in. But I guess that's why having a risk management strategy is essential. It helps them navigate those uncertainties with more confidence, right?
Absolutely. A well-thought-out risk management plan can offer peace of mind. It's about creating a buffer against those uncertainties, ensuring you're not overly reliant on any one source of income or investment.
Right, and it's also about thinking ahead. For example, what if you need long-term care? Planning for that now can save you a lot of stress later on.
Exactly, and it's a conversation that's hard to have but so necessary. You want to leave a legacy for your loved ones, but if you don't plan for these potential costs, you might end up using those funds for unexpected expenses.
That's true. The emotional side of legacy planning can't be overlooked either. People want to ensure they leave something behind, but they also want to enjoy their retirement without financial worry.
Right, and that balance is delicate. I often tell my clients that it's okay to spend some of that hard-earned money on enjoyable experiences, while also keeping an eye on the future.
That's such a good point. It's about striking that balance, and a solid risk management plan helps you do just that.
Exactly, it's like having an umbrella when you expect rain, even if it's sunny right now. You prepare for the unexpected.
Yes, and I think that's the crux of it. With current economic trends, understanding your risks and how to mitigate them is more important than ever.
And the good news is, it's not too late to start. Even if you're just a few years away from retirement, there are strategies you can implement to bolster your plan.
That's really encouraging, David. And I think that's a perfect segue into discussing some core strategies for creating a retirement risk management plan that can truly make a difference.
So, Emily, let's dive into some core strategies for creating a solid retirement risk management plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Where do we start?
Well, I think it's important to first talk about asset allocation. It's really the backbone of any retirement strategy, you know. A rule of thumb is the 70-30th portfolio, which suggests keeping about 70% in stocks and 30% in bonds. But that can vary based on your risk tolerance and how close you are to retirement.
Right, so if someone is younger, they might lean more toward stocks for growth, but as they get closer to retirement, shifting toward bonds makes sense, right?
Exactly. As you approach retirement, you want to reduce volatility. So maybe you start with a heavier stock allocation and gradually shift to more bonds. It's about finding that balance and being mindful of your timeline and needs.
And what about tax-advantaged accounts? I know those can really help with retirement planning.
Definitely. Accounts like 401ks and IRAs can provide significant tax benefits. For example, contributions to a traditional 401k are pre-tax, meaning you lower your taxable income in the year you contribute, but you'll pay taxes on withdrawals in retirement.
And then there's the Roth accounts, right? Those are post-tax contributions, so you pay taxes up front, but withdrawals are tax-free in retirement.
Yes, that's a great point. Many people like to mix these options. Having both traditional and Roth accounts can provide flexibility in retirement. You can withdraw from Roth accounts tax-free, which can help manage your tax bracket and withdrawals, especially if you're facing required minimum distributions or RMDs later on.
Speaking of RMDs, when do they kick in?
RMDs start at age 73 now, under the Secure Act 2.0, and it's important to plan for those, because if you don't take them, the penalties can be steep, up to 50% of what you should have withdrawn. So it's critical to factor that into your strategy.
Ouch, that's a big penalty. So let's say someone is retired and they're drawing from their accounts. What's a solid withdrawal strategy?
A common rule is the 4% rule, which suggests withdrawing 4% of your retirement savings each year. This can help ensure your money lasts through retirement. For instance, if you have $1 million saved, you'd withdraw about $40,000 annually.
And I assume that's just a guideline, right? Not a one-size-fits-all?
Exactly. It's a starting point. Depending on your lifestyle, healthcare needs, and other income sources like Social Security, you might need to adjust that percentage. Some people prefer a bucket strategy, where they divide their savings into different buckets based on when they'll need the money: short-term, medium-term, and long-term.
That makes a lot of sense. So how would that work in practice?
Well, you might have a short-term bucket for the first few years of retirement, invested in cash or short-term bonds for stability. Then, a medium-term bucket could have a mix of moderate risk investments for the next 5 to 10 years. Finally, a long-term bucket could be more aggressive, focusing on growth stocks for the years further down the line.
Sounds like a smart way to manage risk while still having access to cash when you need it.
Absolutely. And diversification plays a crucial role in this too. You don't want all your eggs in one basket, right? Mixing asset classes, stocks, bonds, real estate, can help reduce risk and potentially improve returns.
Speaking of real estate, how does that factor in?
Real estate can be a great way to diversify. It's often seen as a hedge against inflation, and rental properties can provide a steady income stream. Just keep in mind, it comes with its own risks and management responsibilities.
Yeah, I imagine being a landlord isn't for everyone.
True, but some people choose to invest in real estate investment trusts, or REITs, which can give them exposure to real estate without the hands-on management. It's all about finding what fits your lifestyle and risk tolerance.
And what about Social Security? How does that fit into the overall picture?
Social Security can be a foundational piece. The timing of when you claim benefits can significantly impact your monthly income. For instance, claiming at 62 means lower monthly payments, while waiting until 70 can increase your benefits by about 8% each year.
Wow, that's a big difference. So it's worth considering when to take it.
Exactly. It's about understanding your personal situation. If you have other income sources, you might afford to delay claiming Social Security, which could lead to a more comfortable retirement down the line.
And let's not forget about tax strategies. How can retirees save on taxes during retirement?
Good point. Tax-efficient withdrawal strategies can save a lot. For example, if you have both tax-deferred and tax-free accounts, you can strategically withdraw from them to minimize your tax hit. Also, consider tax loss harvesting if you have investments in taxable accounts.
Tax loss harvesting? What does that involve?
It's when you sell investments at a loss to offset gains in other areas. It helps to lower your taxable income. Just be mindful of the wash sale rule, which prevents you from claiming a loss if you buy the same investment back too soon.
That sounds really useful. I can see how all these strategies work together to create a comprehensive plan.
Exactly. The key is to regularly review and adjust your plan as your life circumstances change, and to stay flexible with your investment strategies.
It's a lot to think about, but it's also empowering to know there are ways to manage those risks effectively.
For sure, but it's also easy to overlook some common pitfalls in retirement planning.
Like what?
So Emily, one of the biggest pitfalls I see when it comes to retirement planning is the sequence of returns risk. A lot of folks don't realize that the order in which their investment returns come can really impact their retirement savings.
Right, because if you hit a market downturn early in retirement, that can really hurt.
Exactly. I remember a client, let's call him Tom. He retired in 2007, right before the financial crisis hit. He had a solid portfolio, but because the market took a nosedive just as he started withdrawing funds, it really set him back.
That sounds tough. So what could he have done differently?
Well, Tom could have implemented a strategy to have a cash reserve or some safer investments to draw from in those early years. It helps mitigate the impact of market volatility.
That makes sense. So having a mix of assets and not relying solely on stocks is crucial, right?
Yes, exactly. And another common mistake is ignoring taxes when planning withdrawals. People often think about how much they need, but not how much they'll actually keep after taxes.
Oh, I can see how that would catch someone off guard.
Absolutely. I had another client, let's call her Sarah. She was excited to retire, but when she started taking withdrawals from her traditional IRA, she didn't account for the tax implications. She ended up in a higher tax bracket.
Yikes. That must have been a shock for her.
It was. She had to adjust her budget significantly because she was taking more out than she anticipated. It's important to strategize withdrawals to minimize tax exposure.
So maybe looking into tax-efficient withdrawal strategies could help prevent that?
Definitely. And then there's healthcare costs and longevity. Many retirees underestimate how much they'll spend on healthcare.
That's a big one, isn't it?
Yes. Take John, for example. He was healthy when he retired at 65, but didn't plan for potential health issues down the road. A few years in, he had some major medical expenses that really drained his savings.
That's so common. I think many people just assume they'll stay healthy forever, but life can throw curveballs.
Right. Planning for long-term care and health expenses is essential. It's not just about the current costs, but also thinking about how those expenses could grow over time.
So what's a good way for someone to prepare for that?
Setting aside a specific healthcare fund or considering long-term care insurance could be beneficial. It's all about being proactive.
And what about asset allocation? I've heard that's another area where people can go wrong.
Yes, it's vital to have a well-balanced portfolio. Many retirees become too conservative too quickly, thinking they need to protect their savings.
But then they miss out on potential growth, right?
Exactly. I had clients who moved almost everything into bonds after retiring, thinking they were being safe, but with low interest rates, they weren't keeping up with inflation.
That's a tricky balance to strike. How can someone find that sweet spot?
Regularly reviewing and adjusting your asset allocation based on your risk tolerance and time horizon is key. It's not a set-it-and-forget-it situation.
And what about Social Security? I've heard people can claim too early and miss out on benefits.
Yes, that's another frequent mistake. Many retirees claim their Social Security as soon as they're eligible at 62, but they might leave a lot of money on the table.
Isn't there a financial strategy behind when to claim?
Absolutely. Delaying benefits can increase the monthly payout significantly. For some, waiting until 70 can make a huge difference in their overall retirement income.
So it's really about understanding all the options and how they can play into your overall plan.
Yes, and being aware of those red flags can help. If you're feeling uncertain about your withdrawal strategy, or if you notice that your asset allocation isn't aligned with your goals, that's a signal to reassess.
It sounds like a lot of these mistakes boil down to not having a clear plan, or not revisiting it regularly.
Exactly. Life changes, markets change, and your retirement plan should reflect that. Regular check-ins with a financial advisor can help keep things on track.
And it's never too late to make adjustments, right?
No, it's never too late. Even if you've made some of these mistakes, there are ways to recover and improve your situation.
So what's the next step? How can someone start working on their retirement risk management plan?
First, assess where you are. Look at your current assets, your withdrawal strategy, and your expected expenses. From there, consider working with a financial advisor to create a comprehensive plan that takes into account all these factors.
And stay flexible, right?
Exactly. Life is unpredictable, and having the ability to adapt your plan will make a huge difference in your retirement journey.
Great advice, David. Thanks for sharing all this insight.
My pleasure, Emily. It's all about empowering listeners to take charge of their retirement.
And that's what we're here for.
So let's dive into some immediate steps you can take right now to start creating that retirement risk management plan.
Yeah, I think it's so important to have actionable steps, right? It can feel a bit overwhelming, but breaking it down makes it manageable.
Absolutely. One of the first things folks can do is to utilize retirement calculators. Tools from places like Vanguard, Fidelity, or Charles Schwab. They offer free calculators that can help you assess how much you need to save or how long your savings might last.
Oh, I love those. They really provide a good starting point, and using those tools can help you visualize your goals.
Exactly. And don't forget about Social Security's website, ssa.gov. It's a treasure trove of information. You can estimate your benefits there, and it really helps you understand what to expect.
Right, and understanding Social Security is crucial. It's like that foundational piece of the puzzle.
For sure. And speaking of foundational pieces, I'd recommend looking into some tax software as well. Tools like TurboTax or H&R Block can help you understand your tax situation better, which is key for retirement planning.
Yes, taxes can be such a huge factor in retirement. You really want to be prepared for those nuances.
Another great tool is financial planning apps. There are so many out there now, like Personal Capital or Mint. They help you track your spending, investments, and net worth.
That's super helpful. And I love that they can give you a real-time view of your finances.
Right. And I think one of the best habits to adopt is to review your portfolio, at least quarterly. It doesn't have to take hours, just a quick check-in to see if you're on track.
That's a great idea. And running retirement projections periodically can really help you see if you're still aligned with your goals, right?
Yes, and it's never too late to start that. Even if you're nearing retirement, taking a fresh look at your plan can uncover opportunities for improvement.
Exactly. And for those who want a deeper dive, there are some fantastic books and podcasts out there. I always recommend The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. It's straightforward and really empowering.
That's a Classic. How to Retire Happy, Wild, and Free by Ernie Zielinski is another good one. It focuses not just on the finances, but also on how to enjoy retirement fully.
Oh, I love that concept. And for podcasts, I'd suggest checking out Retirement Answer Man by Roger Whitney. He breaks things down in a way that's super accessible.
Great suggestions. And remember, starting small can lead to big changes. Setting aside just a little bit each month can make a huge difference over time.
Yes, even if it feels daunting, taking one small step is still progress.
And don't underestimate the power of community. Joining local retirement planning workshops or even online forums can provide support and new ideas.
That's a good point. Connecting with others who are in the same boat can really help keep you motivated.
So with these tools in your pocket, you're ready to strengthen your retirement plan. Let's recap what we've covered today. Well, Emily, it's been quite a journey discussing how to create a solid retirement risk management plan.
Absolutely, David. If we had to sum it up, I'd say the first key takeaway is the importance of understanding your risk tolerance.
Right. Knowing how much risk you're comfortable with can really shape your investment strategy, especially as you approach retirement.
And then there's the need for diversification. It's all about spreading your investments across different asset classes. To avoid putting all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. It's a classic strategy that helps mitigate risks, especially in volatile markets.
And don't forget about regular reviews of your plan. Life changes, right? So your retirement plan should adapt to those changes.
Yes, staying flexible is crucial, and it's not just about adjusting for market conditions, but also for personal circumstances.
Plus, we talked about having a safety net, like cash reserves or insurance, just in case the unexpected happens.
That's a great point. It's all about peace of mind, knowing you have a cushion to rely on.
Well, and as we wrap up, I just want to remind everyone that building and protecting your retirement wealth is a journey, not a sprint.
Absolutely. It takes time, patience, and a solid plan, but you can do it.
If you enjoyed today's discussion, please like and subscribe. And let us know your biggest takeaway or any questions you might have in the comments.
And don't forget to share this episode with someone who's navigating their retirement planning. They might find it really helpful.
Next time, we'll dive into how to adjust your retirement goals over time. It's all about staying aligned with your dreams as life unfolds.
Looking forward to that one, Emily.
Me too, David. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We appreciate you.
Take care, and we'll see you next time.